Yes, and the reason why I do the job is job satisfaction, and to help my people, and to advocate for them, because we don't speak very good English when we come here, and the clients doesn't speak very good English. They are marginalized in the society here. We are minority within minority, and family breakdown is increasing, unemployment is high, lack of education for women, coming from patriarchal society back home. And it's very difficult them to integrate into society. So what we do here is to open a platform that they can feel at home, to tell us anything they want to. We have the same customs and cultures and language, understand them. So that is the main reason why I'm here. But since I've been here for 12 years and the funding is decreasing by this new government, maybe it's time to leave this place. For new blood, obviously, and to seek for a new challenge.
So if you got more funding, what change would you have done?
Well, if I get, because my wage is being cut by £600 per month for the last 2 years. That is why I'm starting to study to achieve something else rather than sitting idle here and do nothing. And if I get paid reasonable amount, then why will I leave? I will stay here and develop the community further.
What, can you tell us the projects that you've been involved in within this community?
The project I was involved was Supporting People's Project, which was started back 2003. Basically, the main aim was to sustain the client's household not to become homeless, prevention of homelessness, and that includes immigration status and their welfare benefit to be dealt with. Because that will create, if the benefit cease, it will create the housing benefit to cease, and that will create homelessness. So our main aim of the project is to sustain the households not to fall into homelessness, which we believe we have achieved.
Okay. What was causing this homelessness? Was it the cut in benefit, or was it because people, they don't understand their rights?
The main problem causing eviction is that when the children reach the age of 19 and over, it's something called non-dependent deduction, which is that if the child is no longer child, basically the age of 20, and it's not in full-time education, and it's not getting JSA or any kind of welfare benefit, then the housing will charge them maximum amount, which is over £47 per week. That falls them into the arrears. And the mothers do not know where that charge came from, and the housing will assume this person is working since he left college, school, and is no longer getting JSA or any welfare benefit. They assume he's working, and the family are not informing the local council or the housing association or the landlord or the housing benefit. The child is no longer with them. So that accumulates. It becomes thousands and thousands. By the time the family realizes, there's court hearing. That is when we interfere. We defend them, we set them to refer them local solicitors, and then to tell them the situation, and then we take it from there. So that's how.
And why do you think, Mr. Muhammad, if I may ask, why do you think that families, they cannot deal themselves with such an issue? Why do you think that you and your organization, Haringey Community, need to come in?
The reason is that language problem, first of all. The mothers cannot read and write. And also do not understand the consequences of their actions and the problems for this issue. That is the two main reasons why people come to see us.
And how successful your organization so far is, you think, providing with all the cuts, with all the difficulties that you have, and you said that you yourself got an MA, but you still settled with 600 per month because of, as you said, with the job satisfaction.
Yeah. Well, basically, the reason why we're here is that if we leave this place and run away, I mean, people will fall into poverty hole.
In the UK?
In the UK, of course. Because all the local, local advice centers have been reduced like us. The cutting budget is hold the borough. Before they couldn't even access that service. Imagine now, with the limited resources of the local authorities, they cut the interpreting services at the local council. there is no Somali-speaking advisors in any social services or local housing or job centers. So how will people access to the service?
So you think that with all these cuts, people really, they don't know their own rights, and if you don't know your rights, actually you're missing.
Yeah, that is the one thing, and the other thing is accessibility of the services.
Right.
That is the most important thing. To these people to access the service, they have to have someone who interpret for them, who can speak the same language as they can, because a lot of people are improving and learning the language, but there are certain age people, female, who cannot learn the language. So that kind of people is that the people we help here.
If you get more funding as an organization, what projects would you have done, or where do you think that you need to invest in if money was not an issue?
If there's more funding, of course, we will get well paid. We will employ more people in relation to the youth, because we don't have anybody for the youth to take the children from the street, to set them social clubs, play them football, study and after classes, even though we have some, but it's not sufficient. That is the kind of places we will invest, as well as our normal initial advice work.
Could you tell us more about Somali youth in jail? We've been told in another interview that there is a large number of Somali communities, especially young people, young men, that end up in jails. Why do you think that is the case? And what is the factors behind it? And also, if I may ask, how could you come in as an educated young Somali person?
I think it's very difficult to comment upon, because I don't often work with them. But if I use my personal view, is that lack of role model, family breakdowns, and Somali fathers or men either chit-chat quite often, or stay in the Somali shows and talk about Somali politics rather than doing something in their families in this country with their children. Others are going abroad for adventure business in East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, even Somalia. So that is part of it, lack of role model and the family breakdown, increasing family breakdown. And it's also Somali young men do not have ambitions their own, and lack of facilities for them to cater their needs in the community as well as in the general community. That is the only thing I could say about it.
Is there anything else, Mr. Mohammed, that you would add, talking about the cuts that your organization will face in the coming year, 2013, and also the difficulties that Somali community in the UK, mainly in London, are facing? Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, basically the only thing I will add is that we cannot keep relying on governments, on certain services. I mean, if, for example, we know that women, they do very good job. Most of them are single mothers with 6 children or 8 children.